last few years, as many of you know, and if you've listened to some of my videos, I've had a lot of changes within the way that I work, and with some of the abilities that I have now. Some of my gifts have changed. They've upgraded, so to speak. And so my readings that used to only be mediumship, connecting people to spirit and basically message from spirit, now are even becoming multidimensional. They are quantum readings. So I'm getting information not only from loved ones that knew the clients in this dimension, in this lifetime, but I am getting information from spirit, as in the big spirit with a capital S, or the higher self, it may be called. But I'm getting information from source, from the big creator, that connects people to all. So it's a soul, it's more of a soul reading. Probably a lot of practitioners may call what I do soul readings or Akashic readings, because what started happening to me is I was able, with certain people that are open to, really, they want to know more than just this lifetime. They want to know more than just what, you know, how to solve their day-to-day problems. But people who really want to know where they've come from, where their soul has come from, you know, why certain people in their life they're connected to. They feel that they are soul family. And so many people that already have this awareness come to me because they want information on those sorts of information. So it is two very different clientele. You have people that want evidential proof that you are communicating with their loved one in spirit from this life. So that's a very different form of communication. And then you have people that really want the focus to be on who they are on a soul level, and they're not really looking so much for proof or evidence, because it's kind of hard to give that. But what they are looking for is sort of that proof or aha that you have when you hear information that resonates. And again, I think it is the clientele. And it's not a negative or positive or a higher or lower vibration. What it is really, I think, preference. You know, I think that there are times in our lives where it's very important, or we feel it's very important, to connect with our loved ones or our ancestors that we know of in this life about issues that are very pertinent to our life in the moment. And then sometimes maybe we are thinking more about the bigger picture, who we are, why are we here, why am I in this life? Have I lived this sort of life before? Why, no matter what I try to do in this life, are there some constants? And I'll talk deeper about that in other videos, because as usual, I'm rambling again, and I don't want this to be too long. So my goal for today is to just randomly let Spirit pick a story from this book. I will read it to you. Then I'm going to link below my Spirit Stories listings. And I'm going to urge you to take a little time, if this is the sort of topic you're interested in, and listen to some of those. Please make comments. Please like them if you like them. And the reason why is I'm at a juncture with this YouTube channel, and I want to do everything. And of course, I can't commit to everything. It's hard for me to just focus on one thing. But my three passions that I want to share are mediumship, and my love for this work, my understanding of it, and my continuing journey, because I will be doing this until I cross over, and hopefully after. And secondly, I do want to discuss quantum healing and quantum readings and the whole quantum field. I want to discuss that as I myself step into the doorway of this new sort of awakening for me as to what it is and how I can work with it, and how everything I already know and I've already been doing has been building me up to do that work, and how mediumship really complements quantum healing. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that. And I have just done another session recently, so I'm really looking forward to talking about that. And if I'm lucky, maybe I can even get some feedback from the client and share that with you here. So, and then the third, of course, and I know most of you are here for the third, or at least my assumption is you are, but that is what I do in my playtime, spare time, and yeah, it's even starting to become part of my professional, it's starting to seep into my professional work as well, because it's helpful, and that is my journey with divination, with tarot, with oracles, with all kinds of divination tools. And the people on YouTube, the YouTube tarot community is mainly responsible for me jumping back into a love of divination and acquiring so many new toys and tools. So today, back to Spirit Stories. It just came to me recently that I am to start my second book. And when I first wrote this book, I was told that this was going to be one of 3. And the thing that's really cool about it is this is a very short book. It has this book has 42 pages, but I want to show you what these pages look like. This is what the pages look like, okay? So this is such a quick read. And really, I tried to make each little story, each little episode, adventure on one of these small pages. So it was meant to be a little throw in your bag and carry it and read it while you're waiting for your appointment, you know? And again, like I said, I'm going to link below these stories. All of them have been narrated and put in the link. So I urge you to listen to these stories. They illustrate after-death communication, and that is the term which actually means how spirit speaks to you. So I just opened it up randomly, and here is the story. So I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to take some water. After my reading with Kate's grandmother, her parents set up an appointment to sit with me in hopes of contacting Ethel again. The reading was successful, with much information shared, as well as a few tears and an enormous amount of love felt and expressed. After the reading, we 4 started to communicate about butterflies and how death relates to the butterfly symbolically. We are the caterpillars here in this physical dimension we call life on Earth, and our death transition, the cocoon, leads us to the afterlife, where we return to our true selves. Our spirit, the butterfly, I also shared with them my personal butterfly story. So I'm going to keep going into my personal butterfly story. I was 10 years old when my grandfather Poppy died. My cousins and I grew up together in a 4-family house in Bayonne, New Jersey. My cousins were 1 and 4 years older than me. The spring after my Poppy's death, my grandmother Nanny stood outside while we were playing and called us over to the porch. She was smiling and pointing to a butterfly. She told us that the butterfly was our Poppy coming to visit us and to let us know that we were all right, or that he was all right. We thought she was just being strange, and we went back to playing. The next day, however, and many days to follow, the same butterfly returned, and not only flew near us, but landed on our fingers and walked on our shirts and up and down our arms. This butterfly visited us that spring and left a lasting impression in my mind. I'm sorry, I can't speak. So, yes, butterflies and insects and birds, all the little creatures are sent from Spirit, and they are signs from Spirit. And I'm going to share a recent experience. My father has passed away within the last 2 years, and I just recently went to Lilydale, New York, and obviously if you've been following my channel, the last couple of videos I was there and talking about going, and I did get some messages from him while I was there. And when I returned home, one of his messages, because he was a veteran, one of his messages was to make sure we put the flag up. And he said that you need to repair or replace the flag. Something needs to be repaired or replaced. And sure enough, my husband had been painting the front of the house, and when he took down the flag, the piece that holds the flag did fall apart. So he needed to replace it. And he did, and because I told him that needed to be done, and he put the flag up, and then he called me to come see. And the moment he called me to come see the flag in the front of the house, a very large dragonfly came, and it flew around me in a circle. And then as I spoke to it and I said hello, it kept kind of fluttering about. But I looked at my husband, and he said what I was thinking, which is also important. He said, hey, that must be your dad. So I want you to know how this works. This is how this works. So I'm going to end with that story today. And that is an example of how your loved ones can come to you or send to you birds, butterflies, dragonflies. And how do you know? Well, you know because it's a feeling. You know because, you know, animals don't always or don't normally come up to us without fear. And, you know, those butterflies, especially, and dragonflies, but especially butterflies, they give us a sense of wonder. And when they fly around us, it's a sense of magic. And that's what I feel when you receive a message from Spirit. And if it's through other creatures or elements, there's a sense of magic connected to it. And people pick up on that. You'll pick up on that. I think that the main factor in knowing if you've had an after-death communication is you know you have, and no one can convince you otherwise. You might not be able to convince other people, and you know what? You don't even care. You don't need to. I also kind of compare it with being in love. You know, when you're in love, it doesn't matter. You know, no matter what somebody says to you, you're not going to listen because you just know. And even if you think you're headed toward trouble, which love can do, You know, you're not going to listen to anybody else, because you have to go with that feeling, that magic that you feel. So yeah, so I really hope that you liked this sort of a series. And again, I'm doing this to kind of go through some of my subscribers and viewers to see if you want to see more of this. So if you would like to hear more about spirit, if you'd like to hear more of my stories from the past, and if you're interested in hearing what I will be doing next in this series, which will be snippets from my readings currently, which cover a lot deeper and more advanced information, then please stay tuned and let me know that you're interested in that. I would like to share what I am calling my quantum readings in the future. There's nothing like them. And I do think that they need to be shared so people can understand what kind of work that is. And I think the only way I can do that is by actually quoting some of that information. So that's been coming to me, and I know that's something I have to do. So please, you know, tell me how you feel about that. And stay tuned, because those of you that are here for more tarot, I will be doing a tag very soon. I'm expecting that to be my next video. So until then, stay cool if you're in the heat. I hope that the rest of your summer is full of fun and love and light and laughs. And until then, until next time, I will see you soon. Bye.